Thank you for staying with us, and many thanks for all your messages. So I'll just read two quick ones, which were quite amusing. One says, Justice Abdullahi, who should support political parties for you to come and chop appointments? And the other one also commended him for taking the case forward. He's had to leave us because he has another program that he needs to attend. So I'm still here with the Honorable Obi Amwa and the Honorable Dapia Makpo. So now we're taking a look at the suggestion made by the Attorney General, Godfred Dami, that the immediate solution to addressing what Professor Asare quotes as Sall being the cardinal sin of the 8th Parliament is to annul the Guan constituency elections. Well, that didn't go down well with the MP, Kofi Adams, and some stakeholders representing Akpafu and Lolobi who say it's the Hohoe constituency elections, in their view, which should rather be annulled because that is the place they sought to vote for. But let's hear the Attorney General when he took a question from the MP for Buem, Kofi Adams, on this issue in Parliament during the week.
By dint of Article 47, Clause 6, any constituency when created comes into effect only upon the next resolution of Parliament. So Article 47, respectively, is in these terms just for the avoidance of doubt. Where the boundaries, Article 47, Clause 6, where the boundaries of a constituency established under this article are altered as a result of a review, the alteration shall come into effect upon the next resolution of Parliament. It implies that even if the CI is laid before this Honourable House today, and same comes into force after 21 sitting days of Parliament, the Guan constituency can only come into effect after 6 January 2025, and elections can be held for the Guan constituency only on 7 December 2024. And Mr. Speaker, I think it is also important to note that, yes, if there is an immediate need for a recognition of the right of the Sall areas to elect their member of Parliament, I think the solution would just be simple, just to annul the election of the member of Parliament for Buem constituency. And when that is done, we can hold fresh elections. So the solution is not just an annulment or a revocation of the LI. It must be coupled with an annulment of the Buem election or Buem parliamentary election.
So I don't know if that last bit was meant to be a joke, but Moses from Nkwanta in the OT region writes, on the issue of Sall, I think the government is confirming perceptions that they intentionally disenfranchise the people of Sall for the Honorable Amewu to become MP for Hohoe. If the AG's proposal succeeds, then the local government minister needs to be fingered for causing financial loss to the state. Well, his deputy is here and will address some of these issues. But Honorable Dapia Makpo, first, do you think that the issue of Sall is political gerrymandering gone wrong, or this was really just the Electoral Commission not acting in a speedily fashion?
Well, thank you. The Sall question is a very tragic one, and it has a very tortuous, complex history. Right starting from the commission set up to create the region. And I have the report of the commission here. The struggle to either place the people in Sall in either the Volta region or Uti, as it is now, was also an issue.
We know of the four,
yes,
Lolobi and Akpafu,
yes,
they didn't want to exit the
so
Volta
within
region.
Sall, there were two traditional areas who didn't want to be placed under Uti, very clearly. But somehow, we ignored even their petitions.
Yes,
to the extent
they said that it's still in court.
Yes, to the extent that their lawyer, Martin Kpebu, has done everything possible, but it's not receiving a legal remedy to the situation. And it's very interesting to hear the Attorney General come to Parliament. First, he did two things. He came to Parliament to blame Parliament for the Sall conundrum. He said it was the fault of Parliament and that we should respectfully, no.
Okay, this is a matter
of record.
I didn't play the full. I didn't play the full tape.
No, I was there. In fact, I asked him a supplementary question, so I am not concocting this. He said respectfully, it is time Parliament takes responsibility for what happened in Sall, because all the instruments leading to the creation of the region, the district, which is the Guan district, the constitutional instrument for the constituency and all that, all came to Parliament. And tears dropped from my eye, because clearly I agree with his reasoning. 2, for him to suggest that the remedy to the Sall question,
immediate remedy,
yes,
that is if we want them to have representation now,
is rerun of the Guan
elections,
parliamentary elections. I also felt sad, because this is a matter that is in court and he's aware. He actually quoted the case in his answer to Parliament. So why would an Attorney General, knowing that the relief in that matter borders on the pronouncement that he's made to the effect that Guam elections be annulled? Would you prefer the Hohwe elections be annulled? No, that is not my thinking. But I'm saying that as an Attorney General, when a matter is sub judice, he ought not to be making those definitive pronouncements. It carries weight. What is the realistic alternative? Now, let me leave the generals to the specific. He says that he advised the Electoral Commission to do what they did on the 6th of December, 2020, based on Article 47(6). You heard him quote it. And I challenge him. And Article 47(6) of the Constitution is to the effect that where the boundaries of a constituency established under this article are altered as a result of a review, the alteration shall come into effect upon the next dissolution of Parliament. Meaning that we will have to wait till elections are run there in 2024 for it to come into effect. No, that has been the convenient submission. Okay. But it is not. It is not correct to submit that based on the reading. Why is it not correct? Yes, I will demonstrate that. I mean, because we don't need to go far. No, I'll go far. 2012. May I finish? 45. Oh, okay, you let him make his point. Let me finish. Yes. I know exactly what you want to say. That is not my argument. So for you, my argument is that Article 47(6) is not applicable to the Sall situation, because Sall is neither placed under Guam nor Hohwe. Sall is placed in a cul-de-sac, in abeyance, hanging somewhere. You can only be applying 47(6) to an existing constituency which boundaries have been altered. Sall, as we speak, before 2020 elections, were not placed under any constituency, for which you could say that because they belong to a constituency which boundaries had been altered, we had to wait for the dissolution of Parliament. What did they do? You said that Sall couldn't participate in the 2020 parliamentary elections. So you neither placed them under Hohwe, which technically speaking they were, because they had a sitting member of Parliament, Dr. Helu, whose term was coming to an end by midnight, 6th of January 2021, by operation of law. But you chose to say that they didn't belong to any constituency, so they couldn't participate in the 2020 elections. But there was a promise that they would do that when... Promise based on which law? You didn't have the power to do what you did. How can you say that an area in this country couldn't be placed in any constituency? Is that the government's fault or is the EC's fault? I don't even know who to blame. Because you see, it was simply a decision. It was simply a decision based on no law. And you can't fathom how such a decision could be taken. And for you to even know that there was actually an election for the presidential in the presidential elections. They actually participated
in that, but they didn't participate.
And when we questioned the basis of that, we were told that the whole country is one what?
One constituency.
Who told you that?
It's true.
Which law said that?
But isn't that the case for the president?
No, our elections are organized on polling station basis. That's the law.
So
that's the law. So for them to be able to vote at polling stations belong to constituencies. So I want to ask the Electoral Commissioner, when you created polling station in Sall and asked them to cast ballots for the presidential elections, which constituencies were those polling stations ascribed to? She has not been able to answer that question. So the whole thing was fraudulent for me. It was just a fraudulent procedure to deprive the people of representative in parliament.
Okay, so let me hold you there. Honorable Amoah.
Yes.
This seems to, and I've spoken during the week on my radio shows, First Take on 3FM, that the representatives for these areas feel that this was just intentional gerrymandering that went wrong. A promise was made to them that they will cast their vote.
Let's start from the beginning, Jifa. With the creation of the OT region, Jasikan became part of the OT region.
Yes.
And Jasikan had about 39 electoral areas. I need to confirm. Out of Jasikan, the president by EI, executive instrument, created the Guan district. And then the minister for local government, through legislative instrument, submitted it to parliament for the 21 sitting days for the Guan district to be created, which was done. So the Guan district, as we speak, was taken out of the big Jasikan district in the OT region. So in the first place, Hohoi doesn't come in at all.
But isn't it true? That the MP for Buem, just a quick one, isn't it true that the MP for Buem, in going to campaign in some of these areas, was chased out because they were told that, well, we don't want to have anything to do with Jasikan. We are waiting for our own creation.
I beg you, the people are listening to us. And let's put the facts right in front of them. If people still choose not to agree to the facts, it's a different matter. And if people chase people out, I cannot.
Okay, I'm just using that term generically, meaning they went to campaign there, but they were told, don't campaign here.
Were created. And as I said, Jasikan district fell under OT region. So Jasikan was recognized as a district with Buem as the constituency. You follow? We used to have a Kwapim South municipality, but the constituency was Ebrin Samam. So Jasikan district was taken out of Hohoi when they were one. Later on, as we had Jasikan district, later on we had OT region. So Jasikan had come under OT region. Hohoi stayed in Water region. Now, as I said, when petitions were made to the president that those belonging to the 4 traditional areas, the Sall, as we call it, had petitioned the president on several occasions that they deserved a district, that even decided where the capital should be. The president, upon consultation and all the requirements that he had to go through under the Constitution, produced an EI, executive instrument, for the district. The minister had to take the legislative instrument to parliament to create a Guan district. And it was done because 21 sitting days passed and we had Guan district. Now, the challenge we had, which I will later on even go to creation of constituency, the challenge we had was that on the day that parliament had approved the creation of Guan district, on the 21st day, that's the 9th November 2020, that was the day Parliament was rising to go for the elections. Now, so as at the time of elections, the Electoral Commission had not created the Guan constituency. And they could not have created because Parliament was not sitting. It's only when they submit it to Parliament for it to go to the 21 sitting days that we will say that a constituency has been created. They did not submit it because Parliament was not sitting. I understand that when it was close to elections, there were agitations as to because of the creation of the Guan district, whether they still belong to Buim. But if you look at the Constitution, it really frowns on that situation. You can have 2 constituencies in one district, but you can't have 2 districts in one constituency. That is how it's been couched, even though people have challenged that situation. But it's obvious that you can have 2 MPs belonging to one assembly, but you can't have 1 MP belonging to 2 assemblies. So as to how EC interpreted the law, EC said when it comes to presidential, whether you are in Guan district or Jasika, you can vote for the presidential. But for the parliamentary, because your district has been created, we were hoping to create a constituency, but it's not been possible because of the absence of parliament. So, for the parliamentary, we can't say you belong to Buim constituency. That is what happened. Now, fast forward. After the elections, EC made representations to bring the CI to parliament to create the Guan constituency. The first thing they did was to write to the Subsidiary Legislation Committee that we want to appear before you as a pre-laying process so that we can lay the CI for the Guan constituency, if that's what we want to call it. The attention was drawn to the fact that what you purport to lay, it will not travel the 21 sitting days for the 7th parliament to be over. So whether you lay it or not, the 8th parliament will have to still consider it. That's number 1. So they were constrained more or less by that provision. Because whatever you do in the 7th parliament, if you're able to finish by 6th January,
you have to start the process all over again. Yeah.
So it meant that as at the end of term of the 7th parliament, EC had not been able to create the Guan constituency. Now the other challenge then is, we are in 8th parliament. Why is EC not creating the Guan constituency?
Yeah. Why can't they bring the CI so that the time...
They can bring the CI. But if you look at the interpretation given to Article 47(6) that the Attorney General was quoting, it will mean that if you create any constituency now, that constituency should take effect after 2024 elections. And I'm saying that in 2012, when the then government created districts, the Electoral Commission was compelled to create 45 constituencies. Now, so for instance, I was a member of parliament for Ebri in Samam. And then Equiapem South District was created. And there was still the municipal side of it. So I had a municipal, I had a district. Technically, I couldn't belong to the 2 districts. But that was the situation in 2012 until we went for the elections. And upon the creation of those constituencies, people went to court that the EC, by doing that, was more or less cutting off others who don't have representation. Because I chose to represent the Bri side of the Bri Sabom to a Kapim South District. So who was the MP for the now in Swamandoji and not Dompre? The EC was sued. He went to court. The Supreme Court determined, Frank Davis, the Attorney General EC, that whatever is created should take effect after the elections. You understand? And then there were looking at a previous case, Luke Mensah versus the Supreme Court. So we have these two cases which inform us that when you create a constituency in the term, it should take effect only after the elections. So if EC should come and lay a CI in Parliament now, for it to go through the 21 sitting days, the Guan constituency would have been created, but they will have a member of Parliament only after 2024. That is the normal position. Now, if anybody should go to the Supreme Court and is able to prove that this is a peculiar situation, so I expect that the Supreme Court will agree for an election, then the Supreme Court will have to tell us how it's going to go about it. The danger is that once it's created within a term, if other constituencies are created within this term, would they also have elections and MPs before the 2024 elections?
Sure, isn't it on a case-by-case basis? Because
That's
the Honorable Dapia Mokwa has pointed out that the Sall situation is unique.
That's why I'm saying that, given all these circumstances, we still can go to Supreme Court, make a case that because of the peculiar situation, maybe it will take more than 2 years to have an MP for Guan constituency. So Supreme Court should look at the circumstances and take a decision.
Okay.
If Supreme Court sticks to its earlier rulings, Luke Mensah and Frank Davis, that means that the Supreme Court will insist that no matter the situation, let them get a candidate or candidates for 2024. Let them get somebody elected December 7th and then be sworn in 7 January 2025. That is the position of the law.
Okay.
I
know for you, it's not about you, it's about what the law says.
Yeah, I try to be less emotional about these things.
Yes, Honorable.
Now, I have listened to my senior carefully, and he has spoken. But I can deduce some deliberate steps taken.
By who?
Putting bad motive.
Yes. This
You
one
are the same person
no,
sitting here.
this one to the executive.
You were the same
So
person
as for the
sitting here.
executive, I can impute bad motive for political reasons.
But not the...
Not to the court and parliament.
Not to the speaker.
No. You see, this is the report of the Brobe Commission report. It was
It's
submitted.
interesting you have one, because I spoke to Seth Owusu, representing the Akpafu Lolobi people. They say that they've not been given a copy.
I've just told you that I'm being sponsored by the Akpafu people to file private members' motion in Parliament to have this matter looked into by Parliament.
But you don't change anything. Because Parliament cannot create a
Look,
consensus.
yes, but we have to inquire into the circumstances. The circumstances are very, very interesting.
But does it matter what the
You see,
circumstances
a wrong has been...
sometimes the challenge I have is that when people are bringing this in, then they bring in the whole issue of the creation of Uti region. But there's a CI and the law has been passed and everything as to the creation of the region.
Yes.
If people still go back and say, no, I don't belong here, I belong here.
But if people have a right to self-determination.
Thank you.
If they feel that they don't want to belong here or there.
I'm saying that in this constitutional democracy, it's the courts we should decide. If the courts think that the whole
you are saying the
creation of the whole T region was flawed.
No, it's not about just the creation.
They are in court. They are in court. Their matter has not been heard.
Or if they think that the Guan district.
Don't worry.
Now you are taking my time.
Educate yourselves.
Yes.
You were putting bad motive.
Yes, to you. You know, the report was submitted in June 2020. In fact, 2018. June 2018.
Yes.
Recommending the creation of the 6 regions. Including OT.
Yes.
And subsequently, OT and others got created.
Yes.
When OT got created, we knew the areas that had fallen under OT.
Yes.
From the original Volta region.
So, from what you knew originally was Akpafu and Lolobi part of it?
Yes. You see, he's spoken, and I want to trace a certain trajectory. So having known the physical areas that have fallen under the new OT, it behoved on institutions of state to take steps to regularize by institutional policies and administrative decisions things that they have to do to bring the new arrangement under their order. What do I mean?
Yeah, it's good that you want to.
Yes.
You want to
What do I
don't
mean?
understand you.
What do I mean? The Ministry of Local Government could now take steps to say that would it be necessary for us to create new districts in these areas? Or because by creation of region, the land and the people have not moved anywhere. We have only placed imaginary administrative lines. We have only redrawn imaginary boundaries for the regions and all that. So the local government ministry would have determined which of the physical areas have fallen out of the original boundary lines. So would it be important to place them under existing districts or you create new ones? Now a decision has been taken to create a certain Guan district for a group of people we call Sall. Why did it take so long for that to be done between July 2018 and November 2020? Why did it take that long? You see the point I'm making? Everything is about timing.
Yes, but these are processes of administration, consultation.
Exactly.
These are processes of even agreement.
So let me point the deliberate steps taken
to prevent
this from happening.
Okay, so where is that?
What are the deliberate steps?
The point is that it was deliberately decided that when you create the district early, there will be an agitation for a creation of a constituency. Okay, within the time, within the adequate time of the 7th Parliament. So create it in October or November 2020.
This is a conspiracy.
No, it is not conspiracy.
It is
not conspiracy.
Okay. So you
I
feel it was deliberate?
It was deliberate, and the timing is such that things are being perceived to be done legally, but you are constrained by law to be able to take consequential steps.
But I find it curious you say this because the government took a decision that favored your party, the NDC.
Which decision?
To create these new districts.
Yes.
Many felt that...
How did it favor? No.
Allow me to finish.
I won't allow you because it's a very mischievous point to make.
I have to ask a question.
No, I haven't made mischievous.
No, but it's a question.
It hasn't favored NDC in any way.
Honorable, you didn't even let me finish.
Yes, I won't let you finish because it hasn't favored NDC in any way.
No, because there was a perception.
Yes.
That the current administration stood to gain, particularly in the OT region.
I never saw that
parliamentary seats.
Why have they won any parliamentary seats in the former Volta region?
But they've had 2 seats in what is now OT
KJB
region.
Yes,
previously.
they won KJB before.
In Kwanta.
Yes, before.
The MPP has no seat even.
But the point I'm just trying to make is there was a view that all this work, which cost how much money we don't know.
They perceive wrongly.
I'm not saying they perceived it. I think there was a general thinking. Okay, then
those people perceive wrongly.
Yes, so then would be surprising to say that whatever was done was deliberate because at the end of the day, the NDC was the greater beneficiary of this whole process.
So, Jifa, how else could anybody explain?
Maybe people just slept on the job.
No.
Maybe it wasn't intentional.
Let me tell you, this is the petition from the people to me.
Yes.
All right, to anchor my motion in Parliament.
Yes.
Look, they have said, for instance, that if you read under paragraph 2, page 1. This is their document.
But doesn't mean if they are defaming anybody, you can repeat it.
No. I don't think it's a complaint. They said the courts refused to hear the appeal filed against the Brobe Commission recommendation as specified under the Constitution. a petition against judicial oppression to the Chief Justice was ignored.
Judicial oppression.
Yes, you know. So they are saying that.
So they are
even
agree-
steps. No.
What
They
has
say
that got to do with creation
Okay,
of
so
Guan
hold on.
district?
Yeah, exactly. No, what the point I'm making is that even remediable steps that they sought to take to correct some of these things along the line to enable clarity come to the issue for the formation of the districts as well as the constituency so they can be properly represented in parliament were frustrated.
No. I don't expect you to be talking this.
So
No, I have
Listen.
Okay,
Listen.
so Honorable Amwa, as you make your
Jessica,
submission,
so-
tell us
so-
why is it that this legal action, this appeal, this was
Jifa, I
ignored or
thought you
seen?
said I should.
I'm not.
Oh, no,
Oh,
but
he
you made
spoke-
a
he
point.
spo- No, he
No, but
spoke
you
a
know
lot.
the time.
And my
Oh,
final
okay.
point is
Okay,
that
your
my
final
final
point,
point is that now somebody says that I am advising the Electoral Commission. You see, wouldn't have been where we are if they had allowed them to vote under
It would have been the same thing.
under
Hohwe,
Buem.
Jessica.
under Buem.
Under Buem.
But then it creates the absurdity he talks about where you
Be-
have
because-
an MP belonging to two
assemblies.
Hold on,
assemblies.
because look at the timing of the laying of the LI, which created Guan. Because we were at the tail end of campaign for 2020, and we know the legal effect of creating a district. We know.
Fair.
Yes, but isn't that a violation then of our constitution, which has laid out what the rules are for membership to the assembly?
Yeah.
We don't want to be in violation, do we?
Jifa, when a government says that I am creating a new district for a group of people who are supposed to be part of an existing district, when campaign for the constituency that is also co-terminus to that same district, and lays it and passes it into law, the effect of which is that the people can no longer participate in terms of elections, and it is strange for electoral commission to say that because a district has been created, you don't operate with districts, you operate with constituencies. So you could say that yes, a district has been created, but I am here to create the constituency consequently.
Okay. All right. Honorable Obiamwa.
In the first place,
Because sir, until the term of the 7th parliament came to an end, the people of South, technically speaking, were under Hohwe. They were served by. They were under Hohwe.
No.
Oh.
Please go and check your facts, please.
Oh, I am not checking my facts.
No, let me.
I am saying
let me quote.
they were under Hohwe constituency.
All of
It's
them.
not true.
Why?
If it's not true.
Can I finish?
Okay.
They had
Honorable, you
voted.
look for
They
what you-
voted under Hohwe for the 7th parliament. They had their member of parliament as Dr. Mrs. Helu, whose term came to an end on 6 March 2021, 6 January 2021. So until Helu left parliament, Helu was the MP for the people of Sall.
No, but what's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with that?
Exactly my point.
Let me.
Exactly, it's the same law where we are applying.
Listen, Roxy.
So
Roxy,
the
one.
Buem MP could very well have become their MP as well.
Even though you had created the district and said that it had come into effect, and therefore you couldn't allow them to vote in a certain constituency, yet they had belonged to a certain constituency for the 7th parliament
Roxy.
and had a common MP,
Roxy, please.
which even transcended regional lines.
Okay, so let's.
Roxy.
Yes, so
People are
honorable.
listening to you.
Yes, people are
When people are
listening.
listening to you and you are quoting, quote very well.
I have
But
quoted
honorable-
well.
Okay, so
Listen.
Honorable Amwa.
Have you abetted your mind to CI 128,
Yes,
which was laid before Parliament
I have a copy.
9th July 2020?
Yes.
9th July 2020. That is where Jessica was taken away from Hohwe. But because we are not gone for elections, that MP was presumed.
Honorable
Helu was presumed to be still in charge of the place.
It's
But
not
what-
presumed. It's by operation of law.
But
No,
there
but
wasn't.
It's not
That's what I'm
presumption.
giving you.
No,
There
it's not
wasn't-
presumption.
When
It's by
2012
operation. You cannot say it's
There
presumed
wasn't
because
she
that's
in
what the
two
Constitution
districts then?
That's
says.
why I'm saying that the same thing happened to me.
That's
in
what the
2012.
Constitution says.
Let's listen to ourselves.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying the same thing
It
happened
happened
to
to
me
you.
in 2012.
But you didn't.
Until
But you weren't active in the other constituency
I was.
or district.
I was until election time, because even if I wasn't standing there, I was hoping that my party would still win. I
No,
was.
but the law asks
And-
you. The law says you are the MP. It's not about
Okay.
you. It's
So-
not about
so-
your feelings.
I had
You had been an MP for that area for two
districts.
terms. Yeah.
No, not to 2 terms. I ended up being MP for 2 districts.
Okay.
Because Ekwapim South, capital Ebri had been created. Ekwapim South municipality, capital and so on, had also been created. Was existing.
Okay, so you acknowledge that there are those upset, but you haven't addressed the issue of the
I'm saying that
the
You were
legal
not an
challenge,
MP for the
the
district.
petition.
You are the MP for the constituency.
I'm saying that, but I belong to two districts because I had to attend an assembly meeting.
Okay.
Have you forgotten that? What I'm saying is that by July 2020, Jasikan have been taken out of Hohoi. The records are there.
No, Jasikan wasn't part of Hohoi.
CI128.
Jasikan wasn't. What happened was they took the Sall area, the electoral areas.
No. You are missing two things.
I'm not missing two things.
Because the
Jasikan has never been part of Hohoi.
You let him make his point.
Please, the creation of Guan matured November 2020.
Thank you.
I'm talking about CI 128, which was laid before Parliament,
Yes.
July 2020.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Which then had Buem constituency created, and which Sall had been part of the Jasikan district. That's what I'm saying.
No, but you said Hohoi. That's where I'm correcting.
But you are appreciating that there's 128, which was July.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Now, your point that it was deliberate, it was this, is quite unfortunate. Unfortunate in the sense that if indeed the president felt that he couldn't create Guan district because it will lead to the creation of Guan constituency, and then it's likely NDC will win.
Oh, I'm the one who raised that. I'm the one who raised the gerrymandering issues.
Yeah, he listed everything and said that it was deliberate.
Yes, I said it was deliberate.
And
But I
I'm
didn't
saying
say that NDC will win.
if indeed that was the situation, then the president could have decided not to create a district at all.
Okay.
He was not obliged, because if you want to create a district, you have to come under the constitution, and you have to make sure that everything is intact before you even do the area. Granted
So why was that long time gap?
which
Why
long time gap?
from the 2018 till 2020?
No, the assumption is that once a region has been created, then this should be created. No, where does it say that? That a region or two region has been created, so Guan district should be created. It came later, upon petitions that now that we are part of this region.
So it wasn't actually part of the original plan to have a Guan constituency.
No.
It's after the petitions,
Petition
by
from
which
where?
time had lapsed.
Not from the
Petition
South,
from
not
where?
from South people. I have a whole file like this.
Petition that they should create a Guan district.
Yes, the South
At
people
what
wanted their
time?
own district.
Okay, so that
If
is
you
so
were
that
representing
is
them, come
so
to me,
that
I'll
is-
give you more documents.
so that is why there was that gap time.
That is why there was that gap. In actual fact, some people have been saying that if you go under the constitution, did they qualify to be a district? That's a different matter. But what I'm saying is that at a point in time, the president had been convinced that we could go forward and create a Guan district.
Okay.
But beyond that, the president has no authority on Parliament how we should go about it. If by our own procedure, they say, pre-laying, we found something here, go and change it. This is it. Before you lay. And it was laid. Unfortunately, by 9th November,
It didn't meet the timeline.
we had a district. But EC was constrained in creating the constituency. And don't say that somebody sat somewhere masterminded. In any case, that MPP had 169 seats. MPP never thought that it would have 137 plus 1. For you to even think that in creating Guan, then we are afraid that, hey, they will get more seats. The 169.
Yeah, because you miscalculated.
169, we're even thinking we'll have more.
Yeah, you
so why would we
miscalculated. So you
ever?
miscalculated.
Why would we ever even have that
You
evil
miscalculated.
motive that if Guam becomes a constituency,
You miscalculated.
it will affect us?
You miscalculated.
No, but accept that.
But, but the
Accept
truth
that.
is they didn't expect to drop from the 169.
so why would
Because
Guam?
in fact, they had lost the election.
So why would
They
Guam?
didn't
Why
lose
would,
They
why
lost
would-
the election.
Why would creation of
They
Guam
lost the
constituency at that time
make any difference to you? Okay,
That
so
is the most
so
critical
so
thing.
so,
So the
as-
challenge we have is that would people like Roxin lead the people of Guan District to the Supreme Court to make a case that indeed, from where we've come from and where we've reached, we deserve a constituency before.
147 6 cannot be applicable to their situation, in my opinion.
It's not 146.
47 6
So,
not be applicable.
so
to
we
their
can sit here and say
situation.
that.
so
So,
what I need to ask you then is, your view is that the current Supreme Court rulings,
Yes.
which provide a certain guidance,
Yes.
should be adhered to.
No. What I'm saying.
Or anyone who wants to challenge it should go to court.
Yes.
Okay.
What I'm
And see
saying
whether
is
they
not
can
even
depart.
challenge it.
They can't depart from.
What I'm even saying is that these are their rulings. This is how they've interpreted 46.7.
47.6.
That if you create a constituency now.
You wait till the lapse of the current session
Yes.
ending.
But if he can lead them to make a case, and the Supreme Court would say that we made these rulings, we are ready to depart from these rulings, Guan should have their district before 2024 ends. They should have an MP before it ends. We move forward. You understand? But I said the challenge is, look, President Akufo-Addo in his first term created so many districts, so many, 30 or more. I need to check, I have to be accurate. But none of the districts was created to engineer the creation of a constituency.
Okay. So this,
None.
so for the
Guan is the only district.
Okay, so for the 4 areas, Santro Kofi, Akpafu, Likpe, Lolobi,
They have a district.
They have a district. Would they have a constituency?
If EC
But
is minded,
the point is making.
the point
is
I'm
that
making,
if the Supreme Court,
the point I'm making, they are bound to have a constituency. They are bound to have a constituency. As to whether it will be now or beyond
after,
2024
yes.
is what the Supreme Court should decide. Okay. And I'm saying that President Akufo-Addo in his first term created so many districts, elevated some, etc. Every time that he was passing an EI for us to do airline, none of the districts did he put it in a way that would push the EC to create a constituency. None. The only one was this one district, which came quite late. So, to impute bad motive, if you wanted to create more constituencies, before due respect,
so,
you take Dome Kwabenya. I've created Dome district, Kwabenya district. And EC will say, the MP there cannot represent both. So
is that what you are going to do? Is that what you are going to do?
We want to create constituency.
Is that what you are going to do?
That's my constituency.
Yes,
is that what you
That's
are
my
going to do?
constituency.
We
It's a big constituency.
You engineered it.
There's
We
a sense that there's
Otherwise,
one
more
half of it
constituency.
Are you
that
Obi-
gets
you
all the
Obi is the
goodies,
chief
and another
architect.
half
If you
doesn't.
want advice, come to me and stop
Okay, but
this, your-
Honorable Amwa, so just a
You
final
motive
question on
thing.
this. The people of Akpafu and Lolobi who say they didn't want to be part of OT, is it your view that that ship has sailed, the decision has been made, they should accept it
what I'm saying is
and
that
make
if-
the best of it?
What I'm saying is that maybe if I say it that way, they will not be happy. But what I'm saying is that if they're able to convince the court
Okay.
that the creation of the whole OT region was flawed and they don't need to be part, it's for the court to decide.
Okay.
I will
And
not
that
sit here.
suit is pending.
Okay.
I
So
will not sit here and say that the ship has sailed. Forget. If you still think that you have a case and that you think that you can come out of OT region, the court will decide. Look at the constitution and all the laws and instruments that have been passed. You understand? So moving forward is how do we get our constituency? Is it now or beyond 2024? That is where they should apply their industry and knowledge and everything. And if I have people like this, you should be more sober and look at the documents than this emotive. It will not help.
Honorable, your
You
final
are looking at
points.
me.
Yet, I agree with him that pursuant to the existing law, the implication is that if they desire a constituency, it will have to come into effect after the life of the 8th Parliament. But my position is that 47.6 is not applicable to the situation of Sall. So I am amenable to his advice that it will be a matter that will have to test in court, given the peculiar circumstances Sall finds itself in terms of the laws governing creation of constituencies, both existing from existing constituencies to a new one. So we'll explore that alternative. They are also desirous of asking Parliament to investigate the whole circumstances leading to their current situation. But whichever is quicker in terms of time, we'll look at it. But I want to assure our Sall people that their matter it's of concern to all of
Are
us.
you doing pro bono or you're charging them?
Oh, pro bono. And it's sad that they...
Say pro bono.
It's sad that they find them, particularly when they just lost their DCE too.
Oh,
Yes,
one day.
yes,
That's one
you
day.
know.
Yes.
I think it was in
How long?
office for just about a week
Yeah.
or
No,
3 weeks.
yes. No, by Thursday he started the office.
Yes.
By 3 a.m. he was gone.
And that day he went round. I think they were writing BC.
He went round the region
And I knew
minister.
Malone. We need to be good. So it's such a tragedy. I hope that they get a new DC quickly to be
Now
able
that
to
now that
handle.
the funeral is over.
Yes, to handle give them a new DC so that they can manage, small projects for now. So that we
Development
look,
projects for the
so that we
constituency.
They are-
we find final
Guan
legal
Estate
remedy.
is in very safe hands. He's a pet of the minister. He's doing everything. Within weeks, everything had been sent there for the assembly to be inaugurated.
Yeah.
And then they had their DC. This unfortunate situation means we have to appoint another person. But it's a pet thing for the minister, for government and everybody. Not just to create a district and let them lie in limbo.
and abandon.
Everything will be used to help them. As for case of constituency,
It's
the power of the EC.
matter.
And we don't want to
So we'll
usurp
look
those
at
powers.
the options of trying to get them a representation in Parliament in the life of this Parliament.
In the life of this Parliament.
thank you.
All right. Some people have sent text. Let me read them quickly so that if you want to address them. This one from Stephen Kwabenya says, Jifa, the people of Sall belonged to the Hohoi district. So if there should be a rerun, then it should be Hohoi, not Web. Was the
Yeah,
Attorney
understand.
General saying that in jest?
That what?
About
it
the
was-
rerun.
it was.
He meant
what,
it.
What he was saying was that the people, as we speak, did not vote for any MP. And I thought the immediate thing was that then this whole thing should be scrapped so that they will have representation.
Yes.
But I don't see that immediate. I rather see it as prolonging the matter.
Oh, it will be a by-election.
If I was a subject to a supplementary question.
No,
you
what
know.
he wanted to say is that we have passed laws in Parliament which have gone ahead to create the Guan district.
Yeah.
And by having Jasikan and Guan with Bwim as a constituency, by the way we created it, Guan also deserves a constituency. But if you want Guan to have representation, that means you have to resolve this whole thing and say that Bwim, Jasikan also involves Guan.
Sall, yes, Guan.
Guan. So there should be elections so that Guan and Jasikan will have one
MP.
which is a Bwim constituency.
If there is an agreement to that, would that eliminate the option of still creating?
It has no basis in
It has
law.
no basis.
No.
Because EC didn't place them under Bwem.
It will mean
From
that,
the word go.
It will mean that you start all over
No,
again.
again.
It didn't place
After
them
they have
there.
representation.
All right. Everlove Kwashi writes, the deliberate decision that the EC made to purposely and I don't know whether this is the right word, potently disenfranchise and deny the good people of Sall was most unfortunate and certainly a dent on our democratic culture and experiment. This one from Ibrahim Dolimo, he says, Jifa, the people, no, I beg your pardon, he says, I want to know whether the ongoing polling station elections will cover the Sall area. If not, why is it so? I think that if district level elections come, what happens to them then?
Oh,
They
have assembly members.
They have an assembly, so they'll,
yeah, 2023 there will be elections there.
There'll be elections
He is rather
there.
asking about polling stations. If they don't have a constituency and you have polling stations, the polling station, they will not only vote for MPs, they will also vote for presidential.
Presidential. Okay.
In fact, that's been the point I'm making.
Making.
That there are polling stations
Stations
there
there.
because they voted in the presidential.
Presidential,
In fact, we asked
And
the
they
EC
voted
chair.
in-
We asked the EC chair whether those votes were counted towards the presidential final results. She danced around it.
Oh, that's how. You
Well,
asked her and
no,
that's how.
she couldn't.
No part of the results declared.
No, she
stations
wasn't certain.
Polling station, all
Because-
the
because-
38,000
So
or
all
so.
those polling
the impre-
station results should have been
The
declared
impression
from
was
the
that
Volta
no,
region,
the impression,
isn't it?
No,
And they have it.
No, senior, this one
They have it.
I was at the committee. She
It's
said
not
that
committee matter.
No, hold
It's the
on.
documentation.
Yes, but
I
I'm
have
saying
all the results of all police stations in Ghana.
okay.
Me, I have it.
Okay.
So why you say
because
that?
she said that the votes were held. I think she used a term that the votes were held somewhere.
Heard where?
So I don't know.
Okay,
It was
I'll
a
bear
very,
that
very-
in mind.
But
If
they voted at polling stations.
Stations.
Yes.
Except that the ballot only was for the presidential.
Presidential. Yes. So
And it's counted
I
as-
asked.
The results are there.
So I
So if
asked
John Mahama had
because-
majority, the results show.
because you see,
Or it-
with,
it- it thought the Buhari won there.
no. Leader
what's the
asked.
problem?
Leader asked whether she had issued after the elections whether she's gazetted the results, and that too she couldn't
She wanted
confirm.
to be sure.
Yes, that too she couldn't confirm.
So we are not sure.
So a
of
few
that.
things.
They still need to be cleared up.
That is another
All right.
issue. Because when you gazetting results, you gazette the parliamentary results,
Okay.
but not the polling station.
I
And this is
agree.
not the first time.
I agree.
Sometimes people
but
bring
the
it up.
presidential too is gazetted.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
So we wanted to know and see whether all the votes factored into it.
Right.
I think the Sall issue is a continuing one,
votes
but
are business
it's been a very interesting conversation. I'm sure you admit that, and thank you very much for staying with us. Thanks to all of you for your text messages from Twitter as well and on Facebook. You've been watching The Key Points. Many thanks to our panel. Thanks to you, Honorable Dapiamakwo. You are in town for this weekend, or you are heading for funeral?
Well, I missed the funeral. So
you missed the funeral. Thank you. I
It's
know
my
you did that
pleasure.
for us
Yes.
here. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Obi Ama. Always a pleasure having you.
Thank
It's
you.
not always
You
easy
ask
to
me
get
whether I'm
you.
also going for funeral.
Okay, any funerals for you today?
Next time I'm moving to my.
All right.
But you see, I couldn't go, but my pocket has
Your
gone.
pocket has gone.
Your Momo.
Via Momo.
My
And you
Momo.
want to collect
My
e-levy
e-levy.
on that.
More levy you pay on it. He said he won't pay.
So thanks also to the lawyer, Justice Abdullahi, for joining us earlier. I'm Jifa Bampo. Thanks to my entire production team. And we'll join you again next week, Saturday, with another interesting edition.